Previously on the inventory.
But it does appear that we're not alone in the universe after all. What brings us here is that there is a subculture movement happening within humanity that has caught our attention. And those humans that are proud to be a part of it call themselves Bronies.
Do I smell carrots in here?
Alright, that's it.
Hey, I just wanted to say that you were really brilliant tonight. Even airing the fight between you and Fairytail? I'm glad you made that call.
What do you mean, leave the mic on? I never left the mic on. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that fight actually was aired?
That's odd. Well, if you didn't turn the mic on, then who did? Some pony keeps accidentally leaving the microphone on. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
You see, I kinda sorta maybe connected the quantum entanglement dish to the station's equipment. I thought it would boost the signal and help us with our Brony research. When the QED gets switched on before the broadcast, well, so might everything else.
Yeah, I guess one of our researchers stumbled across your radio broadcast, and the whole plant went in a frenzy.
So wait, our broadcast has been reaching all the way to Manhattan? Sometimes wasn't kidding himself about boosting the signal.
Oh yes, hello everybody, and as you have heard, I am Cover Story, correspondent from the Manhattan Gazette.
So, him showing up really saved our flanks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, I do have some news for you. I've made some headway with Fairytail. Looks like he's willing to rejoin the show. However, he did have one condition.
And now for the continuation of the inventory on KPNY.
I still can't believe I have to go through with this.
Oh, stop being such a fool. It'll be fine. Just do your best and everything will turn out okay.
Why do I have to be the one to present this material anyway?
I told you, Fairytail only agreed to return to the show on one condition, that you present the material.
Okay, fine. What if he just doesn't come back and I don't have to present this stupid thing? Every pony wins!
Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. Apparently, Fairytail brought the ratings in, so we have to have him back in the booth.
More like our fight brought the ratings in.
Hey, not my call. Boss Pony's going to have my flank unless I agree to have him return. So you just have to suck it up and deal with it, mister.
Well, at least I won't have to deal with the grief of having him around for a while longer.
Well, actually, about that...
Well. Isn't this the most beautiful sight in all of Equestria?
Oh, look who's finally back. So how are those crutches treating you, Fairytail?
Joko you like. You're lucky I don't sue you for everything you're worth. Which would be about, 2 bits?
Can it, Fairytail? I'm only agreeing to this bargain of yours for the sake of the show. I just want to get this over with and put this stupid feud behind us.
I can respect that. So long as you promise not to slam me into another table, I believe that today's broadcast will go swimmingly.
What are you talking about? Why would you be on the air if I'm the one presenting?
Isn't it obvious? My condition for coming back to the show is that I be elevated to the position of host.
What? Curtain call, you never told me about him hosting. You only said that I had to be presenter for this episode.
Actually, Fairytail, he's right.
Exactly, Airwaves. So if you'll excuse me, I'll just take my position at the... Wait, what?
You said that you wanted Airwaves to... How did you put it? Taste the same humiliation I did by taking on the mantle of presenter. Besides, Nurse Redheart said you're still not medically clear to work on the show.
But you misunderstood my... Well, if I don't host, then who will?
He's got a point. Her cover's still in Canterlot, and Cover Story has been in meetings with Boss Pony all day.
So all that leaves is,
Hey, every pony. Airwaves, I brought you your tea.
Oh,
and the QED is hot and ready to roll. Oh, hey, welcome back, Fairytail. I'm glad to see you're feeling better.
Ah! Sound effects! Perfect timing! Have you gotten Curtain Call up to date on how to use the QED?
Yeah, I think she's got the hang of it, but...
Good! Get over here. You're hosting today.
What? Excuse my language, but what in the flying feather are you talking about?
Look, I'm today's presenter. We need a host, so get in that chair and hop to it.
No. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not putting my jobs in the hooves of this immature-sounding pony.
Hey!
Well, it's either him or we don't have a show today.
Ugh, fine. You win. But don't come crying to me when this goes wrong.
What's the worst that could happen?
Host, huh? So I have to be in charge of the show. Sweet. I am the supreme lord of the radio!
Celestia help us all.
You best wipe that smirk off of your muzzle, Airwaves. Just because you got sodomy this time doesn't mean I'm out yet.
Alright, sound effects. Sit in that chair and get ready.
Ah, this chair's comfy.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
I get to say it! Good day, Ponyville! Welcome to the inventory at KPNY Radio, Ponyville's radio. Remember, every pony, if you're not listening to the radio, then you're probably not listening to KPNY.
You know you just botched that up, right?
I am Sound Effects, and I'll be your host with the most for today's installment. Why, you ask? Well, besides the obvious reasons for my amazing talents as a radio personality, and the fact I basically single-hoofedly keep this place afloat.
Sound effects.
Today's presentation will actually be brought to you by a very close personal friend of mine. Yes, it's our very own host, Airwaves.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Airwaves, and today I will be bringing you another wonderful work from the Brony community that I discovered myself. And so I've asked our own audio technician, Sound Effects, to fill in for me so that I could give this presentation for all of you.
I can't tell you how excited I am for this opportunity, Airwaves. So, let's get right into it already. So, tell me, Airwaves, what have you brought us today?
Well, it's a little unorthodox, but I'm not bringing you a specific piece from the Brony community or a specific Brony. Instead, I wish to bring to light a specific group of writers who all write within a specific established shared universe.
A shared universe, you say? What are you talking about exactly?
Well, sound effects. As many writers that are part of the Brony phenomenon, they all write stories in our universe. Our point of reference, so to speak. But these writers create stories in an alternate universe where Equestria and Earth are still present, but the two worlds have become, well, intertwined, and sometimes not in the best of ways.
Oh, so sort of like what we're doing here, right?
Actually, nowhere near it, sound effects. When I say intertwined, I mean... Well, let me put it this way. You've played with bubbles before, right?
Have I? This one time I put so much bubble bath in the Fairytail's tub that it filled up his home to the point where it nearly popped his roof off. Good times, good times.
I'm just trying to make a reference point for our listeners. Well, look at it from this perspective. Let's say you have two bubbles floating perfectly, but what happens when they come close together?
Yeah, they usually stick together a little bit. Then you can poke them with a stick and pop them.
Sound effects. When they come close together, yes, they do stick for a bit, but both bubbles keep, their own form intact. But eventually they'll merge into one bubble.
I think I remember seeing some bubble float in the janitor's closet when I got...
Focus, Colt!
Sorry, I'm on task now.
Now picture one bubble being Earth and another bubble being Equestria. Then the two worlds begin merging together and begin to share the same point in space.
Oh, I get it now. It actually kind of sounds like it could be potentially problematic, however.
In some cases, these stories written in this universe, it can be.
So each writer has their own spin on the events that take place in this universe.
Yes, each writer does have their own take on this unique scenario that does happen. But the overall backstory stays the same, where Equestria appears on Earth, but let me make this perfectly clear. This Earth that's written in the majority of these stories isn't the Earth that we're aware of. This is an Earth where the Brony movement had never taken place, and from what I can gather, most of the stories that take place in this Earth are somewhat in the distant future. However, there are a few stories that take place in Earth's past, and some in the present, but these represent the minority of this writing group.
Throttling story, Gentle Colt. What are these stories collectively called?
The Conversion Bureau.
The Conversion Bureau? What exactly is being converted here?
Humanity. The humans are being turned into ponies through the use of these established departments endorsed by Equestria itself and, in some cases, backed by several governing bodies of Earth. They call these departments the Conversion Bureaus.
That's kind of a bit on the creepy factor scale, you know?
Well, it's meant to be to some extent. with a lot of writers using this story arc as a key point where many readers go on a journey of meaning, of being in existence. And many writers achieve this by enforcing the established theme that humanity isn't being forced into converting. They're being asked to. Ultimately, the choice would be in their hands. So, the decision of leaving everything that you have for the possibility of a better life at the expense of abandoning everything that you've ever known, so that the newly converted ponies can cross over into equestrian territory.
So wait, let me get this straight. The humans can't enter Equestria unless they choose to be converted into ponies, but ponies can come and go as they please? Rather biased, if you ask me. So what are some of the more noteworthy ways that the different writers tackle this?
Well, first, let me answer what you first asked. Yes, it is rather one-sided, but the theme stays the same in almost every writer's story. Humanity is forbidden from crossing over to equestrian territory due to the magic of our land creating a magical barrier preventing them from entering, unless they want to meet with a grim fate. And of course, humanity's not the only species that's singled out here. Other species that would be otherwise genetically similar to humanity also meets the same outcome.
Wait, like apes?
Yeah, well, exactly. But the ponies, however, are free to come and go as they please.
Hey, Airways, why is Cece making weird gestures at me through the equipment booth?
She's trying to tell you that we have to go to commercial sound effects.
Oh, yeah, of course. We'll be right back, every pony, after a quick musical interlude and a word from our sponsors. How was that? Did I do good?
Yeah, sure.
segment of KPNY is brought to you by...
Are you an Earth Pony or a unicorn who is interested in visiting Cloudsdale, but can't because you don't have wings? Well, now's your chance. Take a trip on Cherry Berry's balloon rides with our newly established route. Take a look at the wonderful city in the clouds. Trips to the Rainbow Factory are still off limits. We'd also like to remind our customers to not step out of the balloon in mid-flight. This is a public service announcement from the Equestrian Mental Institution. Just remember, every pony, just because you're upset does not mean you have to yell. Now treating patients with extreme cases of OCD.
Hey, who are you in here? This is your local correspondent press release. We here at KPNY bring you the special report and ongoing investigation. Renovation on Town Hall continues after previous incident. Eyewitness present time of incident claims, I just don't know what went wrong. Name of suspect currently withheld. Details that...
Fuck you! You need to keep your medicine!
Details at 11. I'm press release. The flying feather was that?
By the way, did you hear about what happened earlier in the station?
No, what happened?
Just a crazy pony just got loose and started...
What's that? We're back? We're back. We're back. Welcome back, every pony, to the inventory here at KPNY Radio. Just remember that. If you're not listening to KPNY Radio, then you're probably not listening to the radio.
How were you able to write that on your hoof?
Anyway, for those of you who are just now tuning in, I'm talking to Airwaves about an entire community of brony writers who take part in a series of stories collectively known as the Conversion Bureau.
It's called the Conversion Bureau.
So, I'm curious, Airwaves, what exactly becomes of these humans once they do choose to become ponies?
Well, of course, the transformation, but which in some stories can be through a series of operations, or in some can be used through a vial liquid that is infused with magic that causes the transformation. But to your question at hoof, a human, depending on their age, will turn into a pony of the appropriate age, with the exception of one thing. They won't have a cutie mark.
Sweet Celestia! Not even the adults? The horror.
Indeed. But that's how much of the humans who are converted are identified by the ponies who are native to Equestria, with the ponies calling the newly converted humans by the nickname of Newfoal. But these Newfoals are no exception when it comes to acquiring their cutie mark compared to normal ponies. Except that, of course, they're older. And the reason to this is because most humans who are converted don't know what their special talent is. However, in some of these stories, some humans are already aware of what their special talent is, and their cutie mark is granted almost immediately after being transformed.
Well, it's good to know they won't be complete outcasts. But what I'm really curious about is why would a human choose to become a pony? Why not just stay human? Don't get me wrong, it's awesome being a pony and whatnot. But what would drive a human to just totally transform into an entirely different species? Is there something I'm missing here?
Yes, actually. Well, even though I stated that most humans who are undergoing the transformation are doing this for a better chance at life, an equestrian life, compared to their normal existence, which each story does have a different underlying factor of why a human would make that decision. Some of the reasons could be a bleak outlook on life, a hopeless sense of existence, and in some cases there are just no other options left for them. But there are a few that break the grain, and some humans just do it for the thrill of something new.
I guess when you think about it from that perspective, we ponies do have it pretty good. I mean, just look at me.
And in a lot of these stories, the authors tend to portray that actually very well, that we ponies do have it good. However, again, some authors do choose to break this archetype. But again, it does depend on the author. However, what I found much more interesting within this writing community, who writes these stories set within the Conversion Bureau universe, is that they've gone so far to have categories and levels to how far and how in-depth this universe can get.
Wait, I don't really follow. You mean like kind of like genres?
Sorta. We'll put it this way. The themes of the Conversion Bureau, or TCB for short, are always constant, as mentioned earlier. However, the different categories that are established within this community add certain key elements that are unique to each category. There are roughly 4 of these to be precise, each one adding a unique feel and emotion to each category.
That's deeper.
Well, that's what I thought at first, but it's actually quite amazing. The first has been coined traditional, where Equestria's barrier is expanding and overtaking Earth and will unintentionally cleanse Earth of humanity. The second is dubbed Chatoyance, after its pioneer rider. This is a little bit darker than the rest of the other categories. This is where most of the haunting of the stories fall under, in terms of setting, where the worst elements of humanity and, dare I say, us ponies come to light. The third is named Yellowstone, where it takes a step away from traditional, where the darker elements are mostly removed, but takes more of a philosophical approach on existence, and more stories that remind us of day-to-day life are placed here. And then finally comes the category of Gamaverse, where, comparatively speaking, the fates are all the same as all the others. But becoming a pony isn't the only exclusive method to enter Equestria.
Oh. Well, it sounds like there is literally something in this series for every pony. It's already quite impressive how one idea erupted into an entire sub-community. So now, I guess Curtain Call has given me an evil glare, so I think it's time to wrap this up. Just to let all you ponies know, we will have several copies of various Conversion Bureau stories from each category for you to pick up here at the station. So from every pony here at KPNY Radio, thank you for tuning in. I have been the great Sound Effects, and this has been my cohort, Airwaves. Say goodnight, Airwaves.
Well, I make every other pony do it, so have a good night, and the rest of the day, every pony.
Yay! Now that wraps up the show, every pony. Curtain Call? Why are you moving your hoof across your neck?
Not bad. A few hiccups and a little bit lost in translation, but I think you did alright, Sound Effects.
Thanks for the support. I feel really great about it.
Ha ha ha. Very funny, guys. I appreciate a good prank, but really? You couldn't come up with something better?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. The message you left that made it appear as if a brony, as if it was possible, was trying to get a hold of you.
Look, if I was trying to play a prank, I'd probably do something more elaborate than that. I mean, if I was really after something, I'd probably be using poison joke or something, but seriously, what message?
Well, if it wasn't you, maybe one of the other cults did it.
No pony else has access to my computer other than you, see. I mean, Curtain Call. So that means...
Wait a second. That message might be real?
Mother of Celestia, what have you done?